It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccer Files Canada. This episode is looking at the players of Angola. Here we go. Look at the candidates, and we're going to kind of summarize in a spotlight review where we dare to predict the starters going into the Cup. So let us take a look. And we begin with manager Pedro Goncalves. And we're only going to put him as a likely candidate. It would be late in the game to change the manager, but even though some positions are nailed down, there are several positions which are not, especially at the top of the field, left wing, right wing, and forward line, even the right back position. So he's also a fairly inexperienced manager. So we do think there's a slight possibility of a late stage change there, although, you know, we're not really predicting it, but we have him as a likely rather than definite candidate. At the goalkeeper level, even though we had Meblu as only a likely candidate, on reflection, we think there's no other player who would be the starter, and he looks like the candidate. We're actually going to be confident about that and say he's the definite starter as the goalkeeper. Central defense is very clear. It is the two players who have really been the solid force at the back. Kialonda Gaspar, often called Kialonda, and Jonathan Buatu. I usually see him listed as Buatu. We think they are definite candidates at the back. Left back also fairly nailed down with Carneiro, usually called Carneiro, as a definite candidate there in the left back position. Let me highlight him in green then to show that we're confident about that. Right back position, though, we have no idea. In fact, Carneiro came over and played there in the last two games, suggesting that they're not really sure or they're not really happy with any of the right backs that are on the list. So we're not going to put anyone's name there. In central midfield, it's also a bit unclear, but we do have three names that we think will be among the starters or likely starters. That is defensive midfielder Show and newcomer Kielano Manuel, usually listed as Kielano, and then the ubiquitous central attacking midfielder Freddy, who kind of plays all over the field. We're going to put him as a likely candidate here, but later come back to him as a definite candidate for starting somewhere on the field. But those three players, the best chance of being the starters in the central midfield. Left wing and right wing, though, is where we run into trouble. We've had all sorts of players coming in and out, and we're not willing to nominate a candidate for left wing. I said right wing there, but that was a mistake, because we are nominating Helder Costa, who looked like a definite candidate in the first 2/3 of the period. We looked over the past 2 years, but recently hasn't been starting there, but still to us seems the best candidate, Helder Costa. For central attacking midfield, well, they don't actually use that position very often, so we think we're going to put Freddy there as a definite starter, but probably not as a central attacking midfielder. Actually, he's only started there twice, but somewhere on the field Freddy's going to pop up. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in 2 or 3 positions, different positions during the Cup. Finally, with forwards, it's a bit chaotic with a lot of players coming in and out, but the one who seems to pop up the most is Mabululu, either as a forward or perhaps as a left winger somewhere in the forward line. So we think Mabululu is a likely candidate to be a starter. No great confidence there. All right, that brings us to the end of the Spotlight review. If you like what you hear, check out the full version on YouTube or podcast by searching International Soccer Preview.